at two things. I look at, okay, what I have been able to accomplish personally, and then what I have been able to help accomplish as a team. And the goal eventually for me was to generate at least 3 sales for the month. We actually got 4, which is better than, and the way we got it, I think, was even better than I anticipated, right? So then I was able to lay down some groundwork where, okay, let me see how you work, let me see how Ezekiel work. Considering everything, I could only grow or make things grow as fast as you guys are ready to grow. Considering everything that goes on, I have to adjust to that. You know what I mean? That's probably the hardest part, because you know the goal is to do this, but I don't understand other things happen. So how did you feel about the first month so far? Today's a month. What were your expectations? Do you feel better about it? Do you like the direction and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Love the direction. It's actually more than I thought it was going to be. The amount of information learned is above and beyond what I expected, and what you brought to the table has been above and beyond.
I appreciate that.
What I expected, and I know, and this is just for the camera. I mean, this obviously, these are conversations you and I
have, we have it all the time
off camera. So that's that's how I see everything. How everything led up to this point, where we are, and a lot more excited than where I was early on, even though early on I was super excited to learn the sales aspect.
Right.
But you mentioned before, it's more than sales. You're actually more of a business consultant, because you bring knowledge of all these other aspects. Sales is what you do, what you teach, but you have knowledge when it comes to business overall, and that has benefited us, and it's going to continue benefiting us down the road.
Well, I appreciate that. And one of the things that I had to learn, as I told you yesterday, I was resisting to be a sales coach or trainer. For some reason, I just didn't want to, my actions were that, but I didn't want to be called that. Why? Because I was used to being a business consultant. And what happens is if I try to tell somebody, I can help you with your corporation, I can help you with your LLC or your business strategy, the first thing they're gonna look at is my social media. There's nowhere near what I'm gonna talk about, it's on my social media, right? So it'll be like I'll be shooting myself. So I said, what is the kind of thing I need to go in order to get over here? Let's say I wanna help you with social media, I wanna help you with corporation or your business strategy. You may not see that in me because of what I'm portraying in social media. So I realized that. So I said, you know what? It's going to be more. They're not going to realize it's going to be more than just a sales training, because it all interacts. But if I come in this way, I may not even be able to get in the door. That's why I have to understand the solution, the problem, so that I can get in. And then once I'm in, then I could start talking about other things, because I earned the trust, I earned the respect, I have value. So it's more than just selling, because selling is a mindset, I said, but it involves a lot of other things. It involves, you could do all the sales you want, but if your business is not ready for it, it's gonna crash, right? So do I have a strategy to hedge against that? Yeah, I do. See what I'm saying? So that's what I really like, because I like to say, okay, you know what, your business needs this, here's the why it needs it. But at the end, when the smoke clears, the business needs sales, which is the gas to survive, and then you could put the strategy. Now, if you don't have a strategy of a business, all the sales don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. So, I'm happy with the performance in you guys, even though you guys may not believe you've gotten better, but you have. And it's just a matter of continuing to apply it. So what I would like to do is, for the month of July, is I would like us to get 10 accounts, and I think we could. It's a matter of, what areas you want and the type of buildings you want. I think we should target now what we want, because why do the work for something that you could do the same work for and try to get the bigger buildings? So that's what we got to decide. What type of buildings you want to target, and if we get a few small ones, that's fine. But at the end, it's not just getting 10 accounts. It's about getting 10 really good relationships, and you determine that. Hey, Paul, I want to get a bank, so I want to get these type of medical buildings, or things like that. When you target, then you can prepare your strategy and your mindset to those accounts. Does that make sense? And so that's what you want to do. Now, how are we going to do that? We can do that by generating 3 leads per day. You already know what a lead is for us. It's not what it was before. A lead is almost a solid deal, the way we're doing it. Even if they don't sign with us right away, it's a good pipeline for 3 to 4 months down the road. You know, bring in some salespeople, they may be calling, hey, listen, I'm calling from here. They may get the sale, right? But at least you want to build the right pipeline. So you get about 3 leads per day. Now, the 3 appointments per week, the reason why I suggest 3 appointments a week, because at the end of the day is, I understand what you guys are doing in the back end. So we want to make sure that if we get a lead today, if we could see them today, if not, worst case, we do it the next day. Does that make sense? But at the end, when we go into the leads and going to the appointment, we already know it's a solid deal, because we're not going to go to an appointment unless it's a solid deal. And maybe once in a while we may go there and it just may happen, but it's going to be very few in between that'll happen, because at the end, we're going to control how we do a deal, right? Does that make sense? And then if we could do 2 deals per week, which we were on track to do, past couple weeks some hiccups happened, but we got a good pipeline. So then we can do that. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? What do you think?
No, I like that. I think that's a good target to shoot for.
And I'm being conservative, you know, because right now the way I see this playing is I'm going to be getting the leads in the beginning until, you know, the things in the back end gets it. Once we'll talk about that. So that's what I see there. Okay, now, and this may change. You know, we may get 10 in a week. I don't know, but I believe, because the way I have it set up now, which I'm going to share with you in a few minutes, you're going to be very happy with this. I'm always thinking, I'm always planning, and then when I execute, I want to make sure that the people we're going to execute with, they understand what we're going to do. So the first month was more about we're getting to know each other, understanding how we work, how I work, you know, how things go, have a little fun doing it. And at the end, we were able to get results regardless of things that happen. Just think about that. The machine's not even built yet. Not even close. And we were able to pull off 4 deals. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy about that, because against everything we were still able to produce things. You know what I mean? Because at the end, if you didn't produce anything and you went through all the things we went through, well, you may say, we didn't produce nothing. Well, we did. Does that make sense?
Well, and on the flip side of that, so yeah, we did produce the sales that we produced, but at the same time, what we learned in that month, and that's crucial.
Right.
And this all goes back to what you've been mentioning from day one, mindset.
Right.
You know, now we have a different mindset. Now we have a different understanding.
Right.
So, and I understand, and I knew from day one it wasn't going to be, we're just going to flip the switch and be bringing all these leads. Although now I see, if that action would have been applied, we could have. But you mentioned some obstacles came that we had to deal with, and that's great. Right. But where we are right now, we have a different foundation. Right. And that's really, I think, in my opinion, what was the most important aspect. In addition to the deals, I mean, the deals are great. The deal is the cash flow, right? But it's the foundation that you started to build. That's that mental foundation, the knowledge base, what is sales. You know, selling is a mindset, closing is an attitude type of deal. You know, so we learned quite a bit that month. Right. So.
Yeah, and that's the exciting part, because, you know, the most boring thing in anything is building a foundation. Why? Because it's repetitive. You know, damn, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So you gotta make it funny, but you gotta know what you're doing. Because at the end, no matter what happens, a blind squirrel always catches a nut once in a while. Just keep. But if you don't do it right, you're never gonna have a lot of nuts to catch. So in this case, when you build the right foundation, and the foundation is built on how you think. Because if you don't change the way you think, you're not gonna change your actions, because your mind has to accept it first, right? And so when you build that, then the growth, then you can withstand the growth. You can withstand, you know, opposite, you know, things not going right. But as long as your foundation is right, you're always gonna be solid. Always, always, always. So, you know, like I told you yesterday, you know, with the client yesterday, you know, they went about business the wrong way because they made a lot of sales, they made a lot of money. You know, last year at the end, you know, the business foundation is not as strong to withstand having people in there. So we're about to change that, because you got to change the mindset. Now you're already in it. Now let's fix it. before it gets worse. You know what I mean? Everything may look good, but I know behind the scenes it's not. You know what I mean? So 10 new accounts, 3 leads, 3 appointments, and 2 deals. I think we can do that. So let's go away. I want to show you what I put over there. Let's go over there.